Hilberts Hotel is a good story to understand what infinity means in math. Imagine the following situation. You're a guest in a foreign country and you're looking for a hotel. While walking down the city streets, you see a big sign on a building which says Hilberts Hotel. We all know it's not always easy to go to a hotel in a foreign country without a reservation, because oftentimes it's hard to find a vacant room to stay in. But this hotel advertises having an infinite number of rooms. So you think to yourself, cool, it's not a problem to find a room in this hotel. There will be an available room for me. So Hilberts Hotel has an infinite number of rooms. Room 1, Room 2, Room 3, Room 4, Room 5, Room 6, Room 7, and so on. You will find out it has as many rooms as there are natural numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on forever. Happy that you may have found a hotel, you go inside and find the receptionist at the front desk and tell him that you need a room. And the receptionist says, "Sorry, they're all occupied." Shocked, you ask the receptionist, "But how? You have an infinite number of rooms. You advertise that you have an infinite number of rooms, don't you?" The receptionist answers, "Sorry, but we also have an infinite number of guests at the moment." You think to yourself, an infinite number of guests? That's too bad. I wasn't accepting that. The receptionist then says, "No problem. I think we have a solution. We have a special radio. So when I talk into that radio, everybody in every room will hear my order at the same time. We'll make you a free room." So you ask, how can you do that with an infinite number of guests and an infinite number of rooms? And he responds, "Don't worry." Then the receptionist takes his special radio out and says, "Every guest, please listen. Every guest, please listen. Every guest, please come out of your rooms." So imagine every guest leaves their rooms at the same time. And the receptionist says, "Please go one room further." So the guest from room number 1 goes in room number 2. The guest from room number 2 goes in room number 3. The guest from room number 3 goes in room number 4. And so on. So everybody is leaving their room, going to the next room. And the receptionist says, "Okay, room number 1 is free now." So this means you can always put one more thing into an infinite number of things, so the size of the infinite number of things is still the same. It's important that every guest moves into the next room at the same time. If they do it one after another, then it wouldn't work, because it would take an infinite amount of time. So everybody comes out at the same time and immediately moves to the next room at the same time. The story of Hilberts Hotel doesn't end here. Imagine you're a tour guide and you're going to Hilberts Hotel with a bus full of tourists. Imagine the bus has an infinite number of guests. So you think by yourself, there are an infinite number of guests, and I know about Hilberts Hotel, so no problem, we'll find a room for each of the infinite number of guests. I mean, an infinite number of guests in a bus is a lot of people. It takes a lot to make sure you can fit them all inside. So you come to Hilberts Hotel and the receptionist says, "Sorry, we are occupied. We already have an infinite number of guests. And so you respond to the receptionist. Well, shoot, I have an infinite number of guests. Where can I put them? The receptionist says, no problem. No problem, and then speaks into his special radio. All guests, please come out of your room. And everybody comes out of their room. Now everybody please multiply your room number by 2 and move into that room. So the guest from room number 1 multiplies his room number 1 by the number 2 and goes to room number 2. The guest from room number 2 multiplies his room number 2 by 2 and goes to room number 4. The guest from room number 3 multiplies his room number 3 by 2 and goes to room number 6. The guest from room number 4 multiplies his room number 4 by 2 and goes to room number 8. The guest from room number 5 multiplies his room number 5 by 2 and goes to room number 10, and so on and so forth. So after everybody did that at the same time, all guests are in rooms with even numbers. And all rooms with odd numbers are free. They are infinite. So this means you can put an infinite number of things into an infinite number of things, and they are still infinite. Now imagine that there are an infinite number of buses arriving with an infinite number of guests at the hotel. They all manage to find a room. How? Feel free to try this on your own and write how you solved it in the comments. It works. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. This video is what I did for you. If you want to do something for me, hit the bell button, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and happy learning, everyone.